allow me to welcome you to the Dead Boy Detective Agency. We help ghosts resolve their mysteries. Ghosts who cannot let go.
Dead Boy Detectives?
It's Aces, right?
Just a stupid name. I would like to hire you. I've heard you're the best.
We help ghosts whose cases would go unsolved.
The cases no one else can.
The savior of the broken, the beaten and the down.
No. Oh, come on, having a psychic is paying off. She is absolutely not joining the agency.
You know I can totally hear you guys.
We're pretty bang on detectives when we're not hiding from death. He spent a bunch of decades in hell.
It's a technicality.
Sorry, I've got to take you to hell.
These two boys are cheating death.
You are my best mate. I wouldn't want to be dead with anyone else.
This sweet moment got really heavy.
We'll carry on, we'll carry on. And though you're sick, God, believe me, your memory will carry on.
Our deaths didn't matter. And no one ever solved them. I'm not going back to hell.
I just want to help. It does matter. We have to help. Even if it's scary, and the odds are bad, and we might die horrifically.
Nico, that was amazing.
Thank you. Oh, did you guys know zombies are real?
Oh, hello and welcome to the periodic table of awesome. That's right, it's My Chemical Bromance. Tonight we're talking about Dead Boy Detectives, and can I please introduce P.I. Peter, Detective Jill, and Quinny the Informant.
Oh, that's right. I'm a stool pigeon.
Yeah.
That's right. Just tell me what you need.
You are Stool the Pigeon. Hello. Hello, and hello to everyone in the chat, and how we going?
Hey.
And it's more Netflix. You know what Netflix means? I get to.
Oh, hang on. Sorry.
To do.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I just totally jumped your gun.
You did. You jumped my fucking gun.
Hang on. Okay. Look. What net streaming service is this on?
Netflix. Which has a nice little sting in there. There we go. Yeah, this is what we got to do.
Good.
Excellent. What is it? It's going to be May. It is May. Fuck. Time is flying.
We're well and truly in May.
We are. In fact, almost halfway through it. So welcome to that.
Yes.
And this is an interesting show from, shall we say, the world of Sandman.
I think we'll just say the imagination of Neil Gaiman.
I'm calling this the Gaiman Cinematic Universe, the GCU.
I mean, if he writes something, he can do whatever he wants. Like, if he wants to connect it, fine. It's connected.
You know what? I really want to see the contracts that he drew up for this shit, because he seems to have almost free reign with stuff that he's done. And like, this is a comic book that was written for Vertigo, which is obviously tangential or aligned with the Sandman, which is also DC Vertigo. But it does sort of like, I always find it weird when you sort of go, how did you get those things together? How did you get your licensing for these characters that are yours? And Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point, because a lot of comic book artists and writers that we know tend to get screwed over contract wise, where, you know, they don't really get the rights to anything they invent.
Yeah. And he seems to be able to just go, well, I wrote it, so I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want with it. And like, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, are you really going to fight with Neil Gaiman? Because then he'll write you into his next thing, and then everyone will laugh at you, and then you haven't really got much of a leg to stand on, do you? No.
Especially if he writes you with only one leg, because then in the real world you've only got one leg. No.
Yeah, and then his wife will sing a
That
song
is the
about
power of
you,
doing
and it's
that.
just like going to be a diss track, and all that kind of stuff. You don't want any of that shit on your plate. You don't need that.
No.
I'm horrified at the mere concept of a Neil Gaiman diss track. Like,
I think that's just the Sandman.
Who was he
all of the
dissing?
Sandman. Well, if you need to ask, Quinny, you haven't read it enough. Yes, and we've got to get through this one really quickly tonight because it is budget night and we need to know what the fuck is going on with the Australian budget.
Sorry, I enjoy Jill's face more than anything else on that one. The what?
The what?
What?
I'd much rather talk about queer ghosts than fucking the budget.
Yeah,
Well,
I'd
funnily
much
enough,
rather talk about fucking the queer ghosts.
funnily enough, they really do come together at the end. So just bear with us.
Is that where we find out that the budget is a queer ghost that's been fucking us all along?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, good. Excellent.
So sorry to also say that he's not married anymore. So hey, whatever.
Sorry,
he's not married anymore, as I've just discovered. Been informed in the chat. It's like, yeah, that's all right. Anyway, he's got plenty of time to do TV.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that all happened during the lockdown period where they went to New Zealand and then he came back to the UK.
Sure.
And she stayed in New Zealand.
Right.
Anyway, what do people know of the Dead Boy Detectives?
I know that they were ghosts and I saw them in Doom Patrol.
That's what I was wondering.
I knew they were dead.
Peter?
Did the title give it away?
I was reminded that I saw them in Doom Patrol after the series by Jill.
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
Big fans of the comics?
No, I haven't read the comic.
No. Dion, have you watched them at all? Or, sorry, read the comics at all? Or
no. The first I heard about Dead Boy Detectives is when Jill said, "I've watched Dead Boy Detectives. We're going to review that," and I'm like, "Sure."
What?
And then in the very first episode, someone turned up that I knew, and I went, "I know that person. That's a character from that thing."
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Oh, it's connected."
All connected.
Can't wait to see the Flash show up. No, I know it's the same sort of thing. I'm really enjoying this DC sort of vibe at the moment, where in all the DC hero TV shows, it's all kind of connected, and they kind of drop bits in the movies and stuff. And like, it's fine, but I really like that like Vertigo, which is just kind of like, hey, we're DC, we're making a comic book bunch of things, but we're going to put them in Vertigo because we don't know where they fit. But some of them are connected and some of them are not connected, and it's very adult. And I kind of like how the TV shows are doing that too. It's like, oh, Doom Patrol, that sounds like, oh, fuck, that's weird. Or like, just other, like, the Sandman and all that kind of stuff as it pulls out. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. And then I watched the Dead Boy Detectives and I went, there's a lot of money in this. And it seems to work fun, and that's a fun concept. And this is just, dare I say it, very queer baity from the very first episode, where I was just like, oh my God, people are going to love this.
FYI, it's only queer bait if there is queer alluding, but no actual queer content. So this is not queer bait. This is queer content.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Maybe I haven't watched enough, and fair enough. I didn't get through it. It's okay.
God damn.
I now know from you saying that exactly how far you got through. And
yes.
Because at the beginning of episode 2, you kind of get introduced to a character who immediately is like, whoa, like strong.
You are super queer.
And that is resolved to be, this is something we're going to talk about openly fairly quickly after that.
Yeah, look, I
Yeah.
mean, I
For the rest of the series.
okay, the Cat King, fine, no problem. All right, this is all good. I was actually more interested in the two. Are they pixies or fairies in the jar?
The sprites.
The sprites. Sorry, actually, yeah, I was really, I just connected with those sprites, and I'm like, yeah, they're assholes.
Actually, you know what? I can totally see that. In terms of characters for you to connect with, those sprites are the most you characters I could possibly imagine.
just throwing shit from the sidelines, going, yeah, you suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even with the little dandelion Jamiroquai hats.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yes. And perfectly. Now I understand why they use My Chemical Romance in it. This whole kind of thing. I just gotta get it. This is definitely going down a road for people, and it's fun. Why not?
So Tari in the chat says, "Is it actually? So it's actually queer? Excellent, great.
Yes.
This is the only reason that you joined in on the show tonight.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, good.
You can rest assured that this is a show that is unabashedly queer, and does a really good job of exploring a lot of different types of queer relationships and so forth, which I think is great.
But also does a really nice job of like rehabilitating witches to be cool.
I
like the cool witches in this. Like the witches here are like, yeah, witches are fucking awesome. And drive around in cool cars.
Master Miatas.
Yeah.
Is a cool car.
Exactly.
Hey, it's not a Cybertruck, so that means it's a cool car.
Fair cop.
Yeah. So I mean, we did watch an extraordinarily long trailer at the start of this that kind of explains what's going on.
Sure.
But would you like a synopsis?
Of what?
Please.
I would like a synopsis, not a synopsis.
No,
There's a
no,
Y in there, Quinny.
Why? Because I gotta.
Would you like some backing music? I have some backing music.
I would. Now, in terms of shit accents,
Okay.
so the request has gone in that I do it as the walrus, goo 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 Jew, and I cannot do that. I'm sorry. Like, I am physically incapable of hitting that particular brown note. So, do I have any other requests?
I mean,
No.
obviously Angry Sprite.
An angry sprite.
Angry American fucking obnoxious sprite. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Whatever. So two teen ghosts, they work along a clairvoyant with ugly hair. She's got shit hair to solve mysteries for their supernatural clientele. A bunch of dead assholes. And they just keep lining up at the fucking door because they're assholes and they're dead. Until this powerful witch complicates their plans. And when I say complicates, I mean shits on. Charles Rowland and Edwin Payne, stupid names, decided not to enter the afterlife to stay on Earth and investigate crimes that involve supernatural stuff. And they do. And here's a show and whatever, you're fucking losers.
I mean, that was an excellent bit of improv alongside that, Quinny, because I'm pretty sure that's not what that synopsis actually said.
No, you're right. There is precious little of an actual synopsis in there.
But we're gonna yes and you anyway.
Oh, good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Quinny.
Anytime. My pleasure. Did anyone pick up what I actually said?
No.
Nah.
Are the two dead boys? Are they detectives? Yes. End of story.
Yes.
It's in the title. We know what they are.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
dead. They detect things. So when you
Yes.
they just don't need a Ouija board to find stuff out.
No, they're starting with, I guess, a bit of a benefit because they can talk to the victim. And I think it's a fun idea. I like the idea of a murder mystery procedural, but from the other side.
Yeah, like solving the murders of the ghosts so they can move on. I think that's so clever.
And to be
Yeah.
honest, I'm surprised it hasn't been done before, because when you say
Right?
it out loud, you're like, fuck, that's
Although, would you say, Pete, True Calling was probably the closest thing
Oh my
that
God.
has come
I'd
before this?
completely forgotten about that.
Yes.
Or could
Memory
you
unlocked.
could you say it's kind of like Quantum Leap? Because technically he was a ghost going through possessing people.
I mean, it's a fucking long bow, but yeah, you could.
Technically, you could you could say that the
Technically.
X-Files is just like no.
Help me out with True Calling. I don't remember True Calling that well.
She was a what do you call it?
Psychic?
That works in a morgue. And when she
Oh.
touched the dead body, that she found out like what happened to them, and then like solved the murder kind of thing.
Was that as
It
Eliza
was
Dushku?
Eliza Dushku. Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, right. I do remember that. Oh wow.
And also her name was True. T-R-U.
Yes.
That's a pun worthy of fucking Joss Whedon there. By which I mean a bit shit. But yes, we do love Faith. Yeah, look, I think it's a great setup for a ongoing series, and the idea of procedural from the perspective of the ghosts is a lot of fun. I'm gonna say it here. I kind of enjoyed the characters more in the Doom Patrol episode.
They literally had one episode and they were bit part.
I know. Which
Oh no.
I mean, no, like they grew on me a lot during this series.
Okay.
But when they first showed up in Doom Patrol, I thought like maybe it's because of the Doom Patrol vibe or whatever, but like they kind of, I don't know, they didn't seem quite as extreme, and Edwin didn't seem like quite such a pain in the ass. Whereas in this, I was like, oh my God, little Lord Fauntleroy, fuck off.
I mean, it is a very different vibe.
Mm.
It's a different vibe and a different audience.
Yeah.
In Patrol, I think.
Yeah, very much so. And
so they might have been trying to hit maybe a slightly different tone.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
it's kind of somewhere to go with that character. Maybe you like at first you are supposed to find him a little bit buttoned down, and then find out why as the series goes on.
I mean, if you get introduced into a series where a giant rat and a giant cockroach make out, and then you have to go into your own series, are you dragging that along with you? No, you're sticking more traditional, regular kind of like, hey, we're doing this thing, we're kind of wacky and fun and zany, but also it's really horrific and kind of scary because we are ghosts and we are talking about the dead. So it was like, I mean, and a question that I just have for Peter, like going into this, how'd you go with that first episode? Just that introductory ghost bit, the World War II one, the gas mask, the vomiting blood.
That was fine.
Okay,
I
great.
can parents weirdly. One of my many, like, I'm at my parents' house and I don't want to watch what they're watching, so I'm going to suggest something to watch. And I watched the first episode with them just because I was like, oh, let's chuck this on.
Yeah.
My dad said that was very strange.
I mean, it gave me a little bit of...
the first episode I didn't watch any more episodes for quite a while after that. First episode didn't super grab me. The second episode kind of what got me turning them over a bit more, and it's because of character development and becoming attached to those relationships and what's going on there. So I feel like this show is more about that. The ghosty gory stuff is a secondary element that's not horrific in every single episode.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you're right. I think the first episode is doing a lot of legwork of setting up three of the main characters and going, okay, right, well, we need to deal with Crystal Palace and who she is, and then also it's split between its setting, so it's sort of partially in the UK, and then I think it's end of that one they end up in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they travel around, which is quite fun. I kind of like that bit where it's like you have a human person that needs to catch things like planes and buses and stuff, and you just jump through mirrors. That's all you give about, but it's like, damn it, now we have a fucking wait where we've got to do boring shit like sit on a flight for fucking 14 hours. That's kind of funny.
Predakenga also brought up an interesting series that was, I think it was on Netflix, called Lockwood and Co. Did any of you catch that?
Yeah,
I didn't get time. No.
Yeah. You watched it a little bit, Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah, very
And
similar
I've
sort of
been
vibe.
confused a couple of times looking at this before I watched it, being like, wait, haven't I seen that already?
Yeah. Very similar vibe, paranormal investigative people, but two young teenage boys and a girl. So very similar, and wouldn't surprise me if somebody had looked at Dead Boy Detectives and gone, do that, but with a little bit of some other stuff in there as well. But then again, I haven't actually read the books, so I don't know where they're from.
It seems like a very complicated setup, but I'll allow it.
Yeah. So just checking, where's everybody up to? How far did you get through the series? Did we all finish it? I know. Dion's got the face. WTF, why the face?
It's okay.
Knew that we had to do it for Tuesday. I hadn't had time to watch it yet. So I started it on Saturday night and I said to Mum, there's a new series. I have to watch it. Let's watch the first 2 episodes. I think you'll like it. So we got through 2 episodes and I'm like, shit, I like this. And she's like, I like this too. So then Sunday I had time to myself and I was like, I gotta watch more of this. I want to watch more of it. And so I jumped ahead and kept watching. And I finished the last 2 episodes last night. So I watched it all. And I want more now.
You're ready for
right
more.
now.
Now.
Yeah. I was personally attacked by this show. Do you know how, like, at the end in the credits, they say that thing, any likenesses to those living or dead is purely coincidental? I'm like, I call bullshit because this had my gay panic and coveting a best friend written all over it. And I want my money back.
Is that another band like My Chemical Romance, except My Gay Panic?
Yeah, exactly.
And coveting my best friend. Yes. I think I heard them in the 90s. I love them.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Pete,
to
how did
say
you
I
go?
love this show is an understatement.
Excellent.
I want more
I'm
of it
glad,
right
'cause
now. Yeah.
It's done fucking great guns in terms of reviews and everything. Like, it's been massively adored by the people that have watched it and has 93% on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, which means nothing, but
Yeah.
Pete, where were you at with it?
I finished it. I watched more of it than as of when I saw you guys on a Friday night. I was the only one who'd watched one episode.
Yes.
I was getting there.
Whoa.
I was getting there.
Yeah. And over the course of the weekend, I smashed through that motherfucker, and I smashed it real fast. And I watched all of them. And yeah, I'm very much the same as you, Jill. Like, I watched, I think, the first 2 together, and then I was like, actually, I'm kind of into this. I can watch a bit more. And then was finding places to watch it in amongst my schedule.
Yes.
I could just watch one.
Just on your phone, walking around.
I did watch some of it on my phone, not gonna lie. I was after going to my physio sessions, I was like, I'm tired. I'm gonna lie here on my bed and watch it on my phone. As Neil Gaiman intended.
Yeah.
Cool.
And D,
yes.
we want to know? Yeah.
Oh, 100%. That trailer was amazing. No, I kid. I watched a few episodes. I'm up to episode 4.
Okay.
So I'm not that bad. Like, I'm still going. I just had a lot on. There's been stuff to do.
You have.
You've been a very busy man.
I'm being, but that's boring. I should watch harder. I should watch more stuff.
What I will say is that, like, there are parts in the tail end of the series that I think actually go a lot harder than the first half. Like,
so it's a good payoff.
It was funny. I was trying to describe to Jill on Friday night, like, what tone it is between Doom Patrol and the Sandman. Because tonally it's quite different to both of them. And I was kind of trying to say it's not as adult as Doom Patrol, but it's tonally more similar to Sandman, but kind of more like teen, focused. But, you know, like some of the stuff towards the end, I was like, oh, that is quite adult, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think with a different production company, there's parts of it in one of the locations that you're like, oh, that would have just been a straight up orgy.
Now you have my interest.
It didn't look like the fun kind.
No.
But yeah, I did kind of think it was kind of tonally funny because I did feel it was more, I think I described it to Jill as like queer teen ghosts, which, amazing. But then there was kind of some stuff in there that I did think was like a little bit more hardcore, and I got a bit confused about tonally where we were trying to hit with that. But then, teens have seen a lot of shit these days, so who knows?
And I think it does that interesting thing of going, okay, we're kind of aiming at a teen audience, but there's that thing of like, okay, teens from when? Because the music choices and the fact that one of the ghosts it was a teenager in the 80s.
Embracing our inner teens.
Yeah. But it definitely has no qualms about going for the throat occasionally.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's like 100% leaning into a YA kind of genre. It's definitely a bit of something in there for older audiences. But honestly, like, it could have been entirely a procedural, every week we solve a different ghost murder, and I would have loved it. But the fact that we had like so much character development and other mysteries and stuff going on around it, that like I found it phenomenal. There was so much packed into 8 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, like, thankfully, I think it's doing quite well with the British sort of sensibilities of 8, which I think is it a carryover. I seem to remember British seasons used to be just a flat 6, and then they came up with co-pros with America who wanted 22 or 24, and then they just kind of end up at this weird level now where British shows have like 8. 8 is the max that they will do things in, and other American TV shows have come down now. Like, we're giving it a full 16, maybe. That's kind of half a season. We don't know. It's a tester.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also the 22 thing is from syndicated television shows.
Yeah.
So like changing the amount of episodes is purely a streaming thing.
Yeah.
I probably would have preferred if this was released weekly, then I wouldn't have binged the whole thing so quickly. But
I mean, I miss the 24 episode syndicated TV streaming things because you miss all the shit episodes that people were making, just like pulling one out. I was like, well, that's a fucking terrible episode. But everyone had work for that sort of time. Now it's just kind of like, we have to do 9 episodes of greatness or death. It's like, cool. Too much stress.
And I agree. They're like in that 22 episode sort of thing. They're like, quite often it was like, here's a shit episode with one gold bit in it that was really the key that we were trying to hang the whole fucking episode on. And my 10 years of Smallville will tell you all about that. But yeah, I think streaming has changed the world. I also want to just shout out to my buddy Noel, who has written things for fucking Periodic Table. That's gone back a ways for us in the past. Who sent me a message today because he was wanting to talk about Dead Boy Detectives, which I think is very nice. He said, "So I'm so looking forward to the Dead Boy Detective show. Pleased at how a near 50 straight white middle class male loved Gen Z LGBTIQA dominated show. It was sweet, scary, and I gave a shit about every person, but the Walrus Man was wonderful. I could listen to him read the fucking phone book."
I think one of the nice things about it though is all of the characters felt really well rounded, and you kind of cared about all of them, including poor Monty. Like, I felt so bad for poor Monty, but there was something really nicely done about even the B characters and I think that's probably for me why like the first episode didn't particularly grab me, because it felt more like, oh, this is kind of going to be a procedural crime thing and not kind of my thing. But then you kind of start meeting, seeing this character development and meeting these other characters in the second episode. Plus shit gets and that makes you want to keep going, I think.
I think that's the clever thing about Neil Gaiman, is that he does write amazing side characters, people that you can get invested in surrounding your main characters. I particularly liked Nico, and when she joined the team, I thought that was really great. Jenny was a good character. I could have lived without the Cat King. I feel like that storyline was a bit superfluous. I could have done without that. But then without the Cat King, we wouldn't have had our gay awakening. So who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Cat King served his purpose, and I think it serves that purpose well. And
Sorry to all of the Luke Gage fans, but I do not find Luke Gage hot at all.
I know, but he was doing that vibe, and I love it. The night nurse, I even, had like a little bit of a.
I love Ruth Connell from my Supernatural days, so I love seeing her in this.
But even as someone who's kind of set up to be an antagonist, and then you start slipping over to her side at one point as well. There are very few one-note antagonists in this, but
David the Demon is fairly one note.
Yes. And our witch is fairly one note.
But I loved Esther.
I know, like, she was fun, but she was one note.
Yeah. And that occasionally was a shame, because I think that there are options or opportunities there for more nuance and stuff like that. And occasionally I was like, I would have loved a little bit more to that. But at the same time, there are some characters who you do just want to be evil fucks. And, David the Demon, he's an evil fuck. There's no two ways around that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have 22 episodes to play with and give someone a origin story and a recurring theme and all that kind of stuff. You just have to get in there and be like, this guy's evil. Okay, great.
Yeah,
that is true.
Fine. Also, it's focused on the Dead Boy Detectives, which I find is unfair, because it shouldn't be the Dead Boy Detectives Agency anymore. It should be the Dead Detectives Agency, because there's more than just dead boys in it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop focusing on them. They don't actually solve too many of these crimes, really. I don't know. I haven't watched the end of the season. They get help.
But you're pointing out the Hermione of the group.
I consider. Well, I mean, I find that's unfair. Hermione can't be doing all the work. Just like, yeah, like that can be taken badly. I like. Is it Nico? No, wait. Yeah, sorry, it is Nico. I like her. She's a great character.
Yes.
Especially after she got her magical super hairdo.
She went Super Saiyan.
Yeah, she's amazing. And then she just brings a nice amount of levity to the rest of it that I kind of enjoyed.
Actually,
it also brought out a lot in Edwin, and that was really nice. Friendship.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed one of the later episodes that we'll talk about in Spoilerville, but where they explore more of Jenny, who's the badass butcher, and things go really fucking horribly wrong. And that was one of those ones where, even if I was kind of dual screening a little bit, I was like, I'm going to put the phone down and watch this one, because shit got real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice to see who you're talking about, the butcher again.
Jenny, yeah.
Jenny, who's played by, is it Brianna? I think. Yeah, sorry.
I think it's Brianna Cuoco.
Yeah, Brianna Cuoco, whose sister was in The Flight Attendant, which the creator of this series also made The Flight Attendant. So it's a lot of Cuocos.
I'm really glad that you said Flight Attendant and not.
His sister was in The Flight Attendant, and not Kaylee Cuoco, who has done other things.
Has done another.
I love that we're avoiding saying the name.
Has another show that we do not speak its name.
No.
Because it is disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we said The Flight Attendant. I liked her in The Flight Attendant. It's quite good.
I haven't watched that. But,
haven't you?
No.
It's very good.
He's actually quite good in quite a few things that aren't the other thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but hey, we're all going to pay bills.
Except Meet Cute. Meet Cute was shit.
Wow.
I didn't get more than half an hour for Meet Cute, if I'm going to be honest.
It's terrible. Anyway.
Well, good, because I'm not going to watch it.
Dead Boy Detectives is basically a whole series of meet cutes, except they're dead.
Yeah.
Or trying to kill you. We don't really know.
And I do like that they kind of do the very gaming-y thing of going, okay, we're going to introduce a whole bunch of supernatural ideas, and that everywhere around us is stuff that is just a bit weird. Down by the lighthouse, there's somebody who is a ghost that has been there forever, but also over here there's a house that's haunted, and just it's like I love the Neil Gaiman version of the world, which is underneath all of this there is a whole other fucking world of weird shit just bubbling away.
And it's all kind of very mysterious up until you explain the point and sort of work it out. It's like, oh, this person is like, well, this ghost is trapped because of X, Y, Z, and we need to fix it this way, that way, and then, throw a cat through a hoop. Yeah. Suddenly, it's fixed. It's like those little weird things. Oh, I know how to fix this. You actually have to shave a hamster and create a tiny coat out of the fur and then gift that to a representative from council. And that's how you solve these things. It's Gaiman's like kind of little stock in trade, taking some mythic ideas and
I was so with you on that until you had to give it to somebody from council, like just the local council.
Yes, you just have to gift it to a representative. End of story. So should we do a rating and then come back for you? You can
I have lots of questions about things in the spoiler section. So I think we should absolutely rate the bejesus out of this. And I'm not going to start because I don't know.
Can I start because I'm low?
Sure.
In the amount of episodes that I've watched. So, but of those episodes that I watched, I did quite enjoy it. So I'm just on what I am sitting at now, which is only 3 4/10 of a fourth episode in. I'm going to give it 75. I'm enjoying it, but I'm also getting a bit of a strong vibe of like, maybe it's not really my dig, but I also like how quirky and nice it is. And all the characters are lovely. Like, I've liked them as they've come through. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like... Actually, I like all of them. I just want to see the evil people get real evil and do nasty shit. And hopefully that'll come through by the end.
That's some pretty good evil going on there, yeah.
Great.
Right. Pete?
I didn't like... I'm not like running down the street yelling at everyone to watch it, but I quite liked it. I got into the characters. It looked good. It was fun. I'm going to give it an 88.
Nice. That seems quite
when you hit that rating, Peter, you have to go back in time.
To the future. I like it. I am kind of with you on that one, Pete. I think it's a fun series. The characters grew on me as we went. Occasionally, I thought there was like they were kind of almost wearing the punk and the colorful and the really kind of over the top visuals, almost like a punk wears bling. It was like. It was trying a bit hard to be all very punk. But then, much like many punks that I have met, heart of gold. I really enjoyed it. Second half of the season really fucking goes hard. And there's a couple of moments that I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. There's a monster in the second half of the season that is just nightmare fuel. Like, whole new fucking level of skill tree of night terrors unlocked. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, look, let's say 89. Sorry, it was a lot harder than it should have been.
I loved this show, and I'm so glad that I love this show. Because I want more of it now, as I've said before. But I just thought there was something fresh about it. Like, it was kind of refreshing to see characters communicate with one another. And Nico talking to Edwin saying, oh, is it because you like Monty, or do you want to kiss Monty? Do you want to kiss the Cat King? And he's like thinking about it, and it's like, do I want to do these things? And it's like, that was such a gentle way to talk to somebody about their sexuality when they're questioning. And I thought it was just so warm and lovely. And I think Nico is such a great character. all of the characters were amazing. I loved everybody. I really didn't have a lot of frustrations with it at all, except for when an episode ended and I was like, what? And quickly had to go to the next one. I maybe wanted a bit more from the production design, or maybe like the color grading or something. It was just a little bit washy, and I get that it's going from dreary London to dreary Washington State, so that's kind of what you get. But the opening title graphics are so colorful and vibrant and like really like 80s-ish looking. I would have liked maybe a little bit more from the production design, but I thought everybody's costuming and stuff was really great too, and it spoke to like their characterization, the way they presented themselves. I am going to give this series, I think, 94.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, thought there was a lot of great things about it.
Excellent. And of course, if you do have a rating, drop it in the chat. But by the looks of it, I think only Predakango has seen it. Yeah, but I have a feeling that this is going to be a really good option for a lot of people to go and watch it.
And unfortunately, we won't know now because Netflix have decided they're not going to release their streaming data anymore.
That was short-lived.
Yeah. It all came down to that. Oh, we're going to like we'll give you a bit of an idea, and now they're like, no, we're not going to do that anymore.
So they literally just released 6 months worth of data once, and then they stopped.
Yeah.
Thanks. And it's funny because like when Sandman came out, Gaiman was like, okay, everybody has to go and rewatch and like, you know, we want this. If you want another season of it, you've got to fucking go and watch it.
Yeah.
This one he hasn't been as vocal, but at the same time, I get the feeling that this is playing very much the same. I mean, it is the same crowd. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, and whether we know what constitutes a pick-upable number for a second season. We can do it.
Who knows these days, because there's no such thing as ratings.
Yeah, well, some of the trash that gets more than one season, you know.
I
see why this wouldn't get one.
Who knows? We don't know the vagaries of the Netflix executive. You know, we can't know these things. Speaking of unknowable fights, we should go and watch a clip from Dead Boy Detectives and then come back and talk about spoilers. How about that? It's the what will you call it? A witch fight. That's right. Gonna go watch some people have a witch fight.
Your ghost friends have come to rescue you. They're dead, but they get to stay young forever. I'm so jealous. I could just scream. Iron cane. Sturdy. It's good for the lower back. Don't you just love it? This is gonna suck for the both of us.
Charles, no!
The cardinal sin of possessing a witch. You're not supposed to possess the witches.
Generally a bad idea.
Or the cats. You're not allowed to do that shit. It gets you into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun to have a little bit of bits and pieces in there? This is the kind of gaming-y stuff that I like, which is like, oh, why is she able to beat up ghosts? That's because she has an iron cane that she throws around, because you can affect ghosts with iron and things, like all that kind of historical bits and pieces.
Yeah. Now, I mean, shall we address very quickly the elephant in the room? The appearance of characters from the Sandman. Did we enjoy this?
I mean, I could have lived without it. I didn't need the universes to be connected to enjoy this show.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm not
Whereas-
like so invested in Sandman that I was like creaming myself to see death or despair in this show. So like whatever.
I mean, I liked it. I would have just liked to see Death from Discworld show up. and just go, oh, sorry, wrong one. And then just pull the cloak off and it's actually Death from Sandman. I would have been like, perfect. That's just some fucking great shit right there.
I would have been 100% on board for that, actually.
Yeah, see, you can cross-colonize things.
I mean, I enjoyed that just because it does kind of then give it a broader kind of it just fills out the world and says, okay, well, all of this other stuff is true as well.
Sure.
You know, but also it would have worked perfectly fine without it. You know, we didn't.
Yeah, for people that haven't seen
wasn't unimportant.
Sandman, it's not gonna take anything away from your enjoyment of the show.
Yeah. Because it's not. It's about the dead boy detectives.
Yeah. I also think if you are a hardcore Sandman fan and you're going to watch Dead Boy Detectives because of the crossovers, you'll probably be disappointed.
Yeah, I think you'd be like, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I thought it was fun, and I wasn't necessarily expecting the one with despair, and I was like, oh wow, okay, that's and that's an interesting character from the Endless to choose.
Yeah.
Because quite often she's the one that doesn't get, or they are the one that doesn't get an awful lot of time because, I mean, they're a bit hard to be around.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I would like to see some of the Doom Patrol show up. That'd be fun.
I can understand why they didn't, though, because, like, if you do Doom Patrol, then you have to say, and all of this DC universe exists as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you've got Cyborg, who therefore was part of the Justice League, who therefore part of blah, 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 blah. All of that goes with it.
Sure, why not? We can do that. James Gunn's rebooting DC. Fuck it. Just start it up again. Crank that wheel.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Can't have sausage without the crank.
Also, not everything needs to be connected.
No.
We can enjoy
Sometimes
stuff separately.
Yeah, sometimes it is nice to just let things be the things that they is.
And I can't wait for Deadpool and Wolverine to come out and absolutely do away with that entire notion by trying to cram everything and connect it together in a way, much like a sausage machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a fun sausage.
Look, by the time, like, I love it when we're all in our retirement homes, villages / treadmill that we do to power the universe. When we're older, we'll all be really excited about Marvel versus DC, the movie, finally, where, you know, one company, you know, Bob Jane T-Mart is going to eventually become the biggest company in the world and buy both Marvel and DC and just mesh them together into one
I
movie.
really hope euthanasia will be legal by then.
May already have a bit of a touch of the dementia.
Where Bob Jane T-Mark can...
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I'm fine with everything else you said there, but the deep cut of fucking Bob Jane T-Mark.
Yeah, suddenly just, oh, wait, but it owns everything? Yes.
Yeah.
It bought Tesla.
Your cinematic universe, the Dion Brooks cinematic universe, is truly a terrifying place.
Yes, the future is bad under my benevolent dictatorship.
Yeah, I do like the idea that, you know, we continue to get like the Neil Gaiman cinematic universe that just at the end of it all introduces every single winsome, slightly fey character with, you know, who feels very bad about themselves, and they have to team up as like 50 to 60 of them to fight giant ennui, just huge ennui.
Oh my god, too many characters with foppish hair.
Yeah, I know, right? It'll be amazing.
all of these characters at one point in season 2, hopefully if they get a season 2, I feel should come out of a pond just in like a ruffled shirt going, oh.
Yes.
Yeah. You reminded me that Bridgerton starts this week.
Speaking of foppish shirts and ponds.
But it's not the original Bridgerton, is it? Doesn't have like a lot of the didn't it like the 2 from the first season leave? And
Dion, you don't understand Bridgerton.
Yeah, just stop talking.
I do.
You're making making it obvious.
Copy that. Dion out.
Okay, Dion, I'm with you. I haven't watched any.
Just shut up, Quinny. Just shut up.
Dig up, stupid.
Yeah. We don't know what we're doing. Close the door and walk away.
So there are a couple of questions that my buddy Noel had, and I did have in the latter half of the season. Sorry, Dee, I'm going to talk about.
Go for it. No, it's all right. It's fine.
Some spoilery stuff. In the latter half of the season, they have to go to hell to save somebody from being tortured in the pits of hell again. And there is a sequence where they go through various different levels. And as they're going down, or as Charles is going down, all of these places are empty. But as they come back up, they're all suddenly filled. Mm-hmm. Most of them I kind of understood what they were about. Like, there's a sequence where everybody's eating and vomiting and everywhere, and that's gluttony. Mm-hmm. And then there was another one, which is lust, where the orgy,
writhing bodies,
writhing blood orgy. Good times. And then there was a sequence where everybody's just frozen solid, and I was trying to work out whether that actually does that apply to any of the sin?
Sloth?
That was limbo. It was limbo.
Oh,
the hotel lobby.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I was like, what the fuck? I don't like. I mean, it sounds awful. It's just like there's just these people who are stuck in place and clearly can feel and understand everything, but just can't move. And you're like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
eye paralysis dreams.
Yeah, well, now a giant spider made out of baby doll heads is definition number one of terrifying shit that I don't want to see in hell.
I love the tiny little setup that they did for that earlier in the season, where Edwin is in the gift shop and sees a creepy baby doll and slowly turns its head away from him.
Oh, yeah.
You have zero context for it in the moment, except that it's a creepy baby doll head and who wants to look at that? And then
who wouldn't?
Makes sense in the...
Yeah. And I do like that whoever came up with that version of hell, what is wrong with you? What's going to be the most terrifying thing? Being torn apart forever, over and over and over by a giant spider made out of doll heads with its mandibles made of tiny baby doll arms.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's why it's called hell, Quinny.
Yeah.
I know, but even still, fuck.
Yeah, they get a break at Christmas.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Turns into a regular spider for that day.
Right.
My level of hell would be seeing terrifying clowns in the corner of my eye, and when I go to look, they just slowly go back behind their corners or something. Like
so they're always there, but they just kind of like.
Yeah, they kind of like disappear when you look at them, but like you see them.
Oh.
You catch the corner and then they skitter backwards every time you focus on them. But you just know that
and you never know. You know that they're there, but you just don't know if they're ever going to come out. That's fucking terrifying.
See, my idea of hell, and this is clearly, now we're just reliving our childhood traumas, would be like corridors or whatever, all made of black glass, that you can see that there's trees or something outside them, but anytime you get even remotely close to the piece of one of the glasses, a face comes slamming up against the window to scare the shit out of you. Because as a kid, I had bedroom windows that like there was bush just outside the window, and so the idea that played over and over and over in my head as a kid was, what if I look at that window and someday a face just appears slammed up against the window and it's a thing out there trying to get me? That on repeat is hell.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other traumas we want to work through?
I mean, there are many. There are many nightmares, but we're giving our brain fuel at the moment. Stop
Okay.
trying to make extra things to add to its nightmares.
Sorry.
I'm just adding them all together to one super nightmare that I can do to all of you.
I'm just trying to process. I'm
Yeah.
processing trauma by speaking it aloud.
Yeah. And this is cognitive
So
talk
if I
therapy.
dress as a clown outside of a window, you just hear in the distance.
Nope.
In regard to spoilers, I don't think that there are that many spoilers that I really want to talk about. I will say that I was really glad that Edwin's friend that he met, that he came across in Hell.
Oh, well, friend. Classmate.
Yeah, classmate who was also confused and a child at the time.
Yes.
For what he was doing and shouldn't have done the thing, but maybe didn't deserve to be in Hell. I liked the way that was dealt with. That Edwin was given a chance to talk to him, process that, and also given a chance to actively forgive him and encourage him to forgive himself. And then that we kind of get to see that he gets the blue light after that and doesn't have to keep suffering.
Yeah.
And I like that subsequent to that, Edwin actually gets to say what he needs to say to his best friend, and that doesn't kind of stay,
Yes, I'm glad that
unsaid thing that can fuel tension between
exactly. Yeah, same. Hard same.
Yeah, and I think that was good because we're exploring lots of different queer relationships in different ways, and some of them healthy, not many of them, but also some of them where it is going, okay, well, let's clear the air, let's have that discussion and an actual healthy resolution to it.
Yes.
You're like, oh fuck, that's nice, as opposed to any other TV show where it'll be like, okay, we're going to keep this shit running for
all the drama for the next season.
That's the thing, because drama around that kind of thing can just exacerbate how scary it can be to reveal your feelings to someone else, the fear of hurting yourself. So to show it in a way of you can be brave and you can say these things out loud without the fear of rejection, I think is probably going to help a lot of people. I hope it will help a lot of people.
And also seeing, a thing that maybe even being rejected or even it wasn't even a rejection, but
it wasn't a rejection. It was just a really positive outcome. It was okay, well, thank you for sharing your feelings. Maybe I don't feel the same way, but it's not going to stop the relationship that we have right now. It's not going to change the way that I feel about you. So,
Yeah, and it's not an ending. It's not
exactly,
this is not the be all and end all. And if you say something, oh, it's going to break everything. No.
Yeah.
Fuck, what a healthy thing to learn. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Is lovely. But then also you do get the date with Jenny and Maxine, where you're just oh shit. that was dark. And I gotta say, I thought Lindsay Gort, who played Maxine, she was great because she, the slow slide into scary. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. That's really good. Any other points that you want to bring up?
There's nothing, I don't, it's not the way it's set up and the way the story is told, even though it's a supernatural universe, it often makes no sense except for the sense it creates for itself. I don't really have anything that I want to complain about in terms of plot-wise or plot's not working.
Yeah.
Because while it is a crazy supernatural universe, it does tend to explain its own rules and stick to them. And that's all we ask for, right?
Yeah. Please make sense.
Where I was like, oh, but why can they touch this, but they can't do that? And generally throughout the season, all of that's those kind of rules of, but why don't you fall through the floor?
I don't want to.
I choose not to. Those little kind of bits and pieces that I was like, oh, but why do they need to do this and not to do that? It was all kind of explained more or less. even if it's ridiculous explanation. As long as it's consistent, we're fine.
Yeah. I mean, every episode had some kind of thing to say as well, which I like. When we looked at the episode 2, the dandelion sprites, I was like, okay, there's a whole thing there about glamour, and I think they're finding ways to talk about interesting things about the danger of having attention on you, and if you've got people watching you all the time and you feel the need to constantly be putting out energy to them, how destructive that can be to you, especially if it just is going to explode out of you. And then the case, I think it's episode 5, the case of the 2 dead dragons, where it's like, yeah, there are these 2 guys and they're just good dudes.
Yeah. That was such a good episode.
Yeah, it was fucking great because you're like, and I loved the way that Charles reacted to that, which is, I just want to be like them. I want to be good guys. I want to be good dudes, but it's not that simple. Yeah, it's the more I think about it, the more I think it's a really, really smart show.
Yeah.
Go and watch it if you haven't yet.
Go and watch it. I shall finish it. I will get there.
Oh, Kanga says, it's sad that they're leaving the town and maybe we'll never get a happy ending for Mick the Walrus. Oh, I think maybe we will. I think we'll get
Maybe
Mick
one
sorted
day.
out sometime.
Yeah.
Well, good. Now what if we end up finding out they become live boy detectives?
Oh.
They could be a real boy. No?
I'm a real boy.
Very different. Speaking of real boys, what are we doing next week?
Next week, we are moving the show to Wednesday.
We are,
because we're going to see a little film called Furiosa.
Shiny and Chrome.
Furiosa.
Furiosa.
Shiny and Chrome.
Did you make it epic?
Yeah. Fingers
I'm
crossed.
looking
Hemo is not a trash bag.
Yeah, well, who knows? Yeah. What I'm enjoying from the Furiosa discussion and all of the press that Hemsworth is doing at the moment is the ongoing reevaluation of how shit Thor: Love and Thunder was.
Hey, he quite obviously stated the whole reason he did that was for his kids.
Yeah, and now has stated it. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's like, oof.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Look, who knows? We won't be here Tuesday next week because we will be at the Shiny and Chrome. And then on Wednesday, what are we doing?
Shogun.
We are doing Shogun. There was a decision there. I didn't know if we were going to change that to Sugar. It could be Sugar Shogun. That'll be a very interesting. That'd be a different kind of show, wouldn't it?
The Shogun Shack.
Shogun Sugar Shack. She sells seashells on the Shogun Sugar Shack.
Yes, indeed, it is Anjin time, and I think I'm very much looking forward to an awful lot of questionable translation.
I need to. That just reminds me, I have to go now and clip fucking just some of that top-notch swearing and translation stuff somewhere. I need to find the real good ones where he's just unloading and then she's like, he's not happy.
The action is displeased.
Yeah. That's fun. And particularly the one at towards the end of the series where it's like, I keep him around for because he's fun. I find him funny. I'm like, this is great. That's great motivation. I love it.
I just want the guy who, and we're fucking talking about Shogun already. I just want that guy to take over all of the roles that Richard Burton ever played because he clearly has Richard Burton's fucking voice. Like I want a new version of War of the Worlds with him doing the narration.
I just called him Wish brand Tom Hardy.
No.
Because it gave me a big vibe. I was like, this is Tom Hardy. This is sort of written, and he said no, and they're like, quick, get me a different Tom Hardy. See how we go. Yeah.
The Tom Hardy you've got at home.
Yes.
Inexplicably sounds like Richard Burton.
Yes. That was good. But yeah. That's what we do next week, and then after that, the week after that, we're doing the Furiosa. But we have to go and see it, you know.
We do.
In order to talk about it, we've got to see it.
I mean, we could do it the night after, but I think that's probably a bad idea.
Oh, I think that they probably wouldn't enjoy that if we did it before.
Well, yeah, that is true. They may want to go and see it
another
themselves.
social reaction.
We hope you enjoyed our social reaction to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Did you go see it? Did anyone in the chat go see it yet?
Yeah.
Anyone go see Apes?
It's been doing pretty good business.
Yeah, because it's fucking talking monkeys thing. Like
it is, and it's quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that this could be a review and not a social reaction, I'll say this. I thought it was fucking great.
Yeah. What are you talking about? The Planet of the Apes movies are good. And you know that after I watched that on the weekend, I went and watched the rest of them. I went back and watched them all from sort of start to finish. And yes, Woody Harrelson was in War for the Planet of the Apes.
Mm-hmm. He was.
And I was like, oh, that's weird. And yeah, I 100% agree with your decision-making in the titling there. It was stupid to call the first one Rise and then the second one Dawn. It should have been Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and then Rise of the Planet of the Apes and then War for the Planet of the Apes and then Planet of the Apes adopts McDonald's as a major sponsor. And then,
and then Bob J and T Marks of the Apes. Is that where we're going with this, Dion?
God love me if I ever make a science fiction show and I need a fake corporation that's taken over stuff in the future, I'm going to call it Bob Jane T-Marts or like BJTM. It's the mega corporation. People are like, what does that mean? I'm like, it's Bob Jane T-Mart. And people are like, oh, I don't know what that is. I make tires. Anyway.
Yes.
Right.
Dr. Zaya serving up the Big Macs.
Oh, do you need the Dr. Zayas clip? I've got that still. Dr. Zayas.
Ah, dear. Yeah, look, thank you, all of you, for joining us. We will be back next week. It's going to be a fun time, and we will see if there's somebody to raid.
Yeah, go raid.
Shit. This looks differently. They've changed.
Heck, Steph is currently playing V Rising, which I'm not sure is about. Is it a prequel to V for Vendetta? I hope so.
Or a sequel to the 80s thing where they rip their faces off and they're actually lizards. That's another core horror thing for me.
Is it?
Oh, fuck yeah.
What about the woman that gives birth to the lizard baby?
Right there with it.
All right, then. Enough of those horror things. We'll see you all later. We'll leave. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. With martial arts from Iron Fist and Wall, I'll dance her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're right up cheeky now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind, or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Lucky Barnes and arm wrestle for hours. This NMA and bring her lots of flowers. Oh, call Hellboy up and learn to smoke cigars. Be Tony Stark at all the trendy bars. It'd be a guy's night out. We'd make that wolf back out. marathon. Vacation to the savage land for fun. Why? I wanna live in a world full of. I wanna live in a world full of heroes. Have NPR and CNN describe the latest teams. I wanna tuck my kids inside and read them stories of superhuman glory while the sleepy faces beam. I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. And martial arts from Iron Fist and Wong. I'll dance her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers Assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're right up cheeky now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind. Or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Bucky Barnes and arm wrestle for hours. Visit NMA and bring her lots of flowers. Oh, call Hellboy up and learn to smoke cigars. Be Tony Stark at all the trendy bars. It'd be a guy's night out. We'd make that wolf pack out. I'd run with Flash and do a marathon. Vacation to the savage land for fun. Why? I wanna live in a world full of. I wanna live in a world full of heroes. Have NPR and CNN describe the latest teams. I wanna tuck my kids inside and read them stories of superhuman glory while the sleepy faces beam. I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. And martial arts from Iron Fist and Wong. I'll dance her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers Assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're right up cheeky now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind. Or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Bucky Barnes and arm wrestle for hours. This NMA and bring her lots of flowers. Oh, trendy bars would be a guy's night out. We'd make that wolf pack out. I'd run with Flash and do a marathon. Vacation to the savage land for fun. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of. I wanna live in a world full of heroes. Have NPR and CNN describe the latest team. I wanna tuck my kids inside and read them stories of superhuman glory while the sleepy faces beam. Wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. Martial arts from iron fists and walls.